السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Respected brothers and elders, mothers and sisters in Islam, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us in the company of the righteous in this world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala raise us amongst the righteous on the day of Qiyamah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fill our lives with mercy and rahmah, as all of us are in the need of the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, with the blessing and with the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we begin the third day of our fasting. And as we know that the month of Ramadan is few selected days. And these moments and times come in our life and they will go very, very quickly. And we need to make sure that we take the best of it and utilize as much time as we can, inshallah. So during the course of the time, mashallah, Mufti Sahib will be sharing some thoughts, and I will be here for a few days. And I will share one particular lesson from the juz of the Quran that is corresponding to the day of its fast. For example, if today is the third fast, I'll share a single ayat from the third juz of the Quran that we can take back and reflect upon and take some lessons from it, inshallah. So the ayat of the Quran that I just want to quickly touch upon is the ayat of the Quran from the third juz, third sipara. And this is surah number 3 as well, which is known as Surah Ali Imran. And it is verse number 8. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayat of the Quran mentions, Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. It's one of the most profound du'as in the Quran itself. But just to break this dua down in few words, in just 5 to 7 minutes, because it's a working day and we don't want to take too long. But again, it's Ramadan, and we want to make sure that we can cherish every moment and be connected to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The ayat begins with the plea or request, as they say in Urdu, iltija, right? A request, seeking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying, Rabbana, O our Rabb, O our nourisher, O our cherisher, O our provider, O the one that gives us, as we are crying and asking and begging of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why, brothers and sisters, when we make our dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one humble request that I make for myself and all of us is that please don't say your du'as. Ask for your du'as or beg for your du'a. A lot of time what happens is that when we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for du'a, we say our du'as. But the reality of du'a is that we beg Allah for our du'as. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like a beggar, a person who's muhtaj, who's in need. You know, if you have ever been to places where people beg, they don't let you go till you don't give them something. They'll run behind your car, they'll hold on to your window, they'll hold on to your motorcycle, they'll just keep on walking with you, they'll keep on until they're not given what they're asking. Because they're not just asking, they're begging. That's why they call them beggars, that they ask. In our need to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we need to become beggars, brothers and sisters. And if we get that one door, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not make us muhtaj in need of any other doors. Yes, we need to make efforts. Yes, we need to make the struggle. We all need to earn rizq al-halal. But if we focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's treasures, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not make us muhtaj and in need of any other treasures except for the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we begin dua, we're saying Rabbana. And that should be the plea from our heart that, Ya Allah, I'm nothing. I have nothing. And Allah, I'm coming to you for everything. Even though Allah has given you all the ni'mats in your life, but we come to Allah as, Oh Allah, we are nothing in front of you. And everything that we have is only from you. And the ayat of the Quran is asking for something very, very profound. And the ayat of the Quran is saying, Rabbana la tuzigh. Zagha yuzaghu, or tuzigh in Arabic means to deviate. So for example, if you're making a straight line and all of a sudden your hand slips a little bit and the line becomes a little crooked, that crookedness of that straight line in Arabic is known as zagha. If you're going straight and all of a sudden your hand slips a little bit, that slip of your hand and the crookedness of that straight line in Arabic is known as zagha. La tuzigh, the ayat of the Quran. So it is mentioned that, Ya Allah, do not deviate our hearts. Do not make our hearts crooked. And as we know that if you're going on a direction, and even if you go only 1 degree off of your destination, the more that you travel, the further you get from your destination, right? Even a slight degree of turning from your destination will never allow you to reach your destination itself. So you say, Ya Allah, la tuzigh, do not make our hearts crooked. Do not deviate our hearts, qulubana, our hearts, ba'da idh hadaytana, after you have given us hidayat, after you have brought us close to you. And this was the dua of the Salihin. May Allah give us the reality. The dua of the righteous was that, Oh Allah, once you have given us the ladhat and the taste of your love, do not deprive of the ladhat of your love, Ya Allah. Oh Allah, once you have given us the taste and the closeness of yours in sajdas, in dua, do not deprive us of those moments, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, once you have given us the feelings of knowing your presence, oh Allah, do not deprive us of your presence in our lives, right? So you're asking Allah, as they say, Ya Allah, make qareeb kar kar dur na kar, right? Oh Allah, once you have brought me so close to you, don't send me away from you. If you have made me your friend and have brought me so close, oh Allah, please don't send me far away from yourself. Rabbana la tuzigh. Oh Allah, do not make our hearts crooked. Ba'da idh hadaytana. After you have given us hidayat in God. وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً. Wahaba, yahibu in Arabic means, and the word hibatun in Arabic means to give a gift to someone. And to give gift to someone in a way that you don't become tired of giving. When you ask someone, even the most generous person, once or twice or 3 times, you're going to say, bhai bas, like that's enough. You ask for enough. But the word al-wahhab, which in this ayat of the Quran says, innaka antal wahhab, the word wahhab means the one that keeps on giving without expecting anything in return. This is what al-wahhab means. The one that keeps on giving, and does not want anything in return. Allah doesn't want anything. Just so that we can become true obedient servants to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it says, وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً. And oh Allah, grant us and keep on providing us, even though we may not be deserving of it. And oh Allah, even though you're not asking us anything for return. And oh Allah, we ask you all of this in the favor of your rahmat, because our amal and our actions are not even worth asking for, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, if I was to present my amal, I wouldn't even get a sip of water, Ya Rabb. If I was to present my own amal. If we were to present our own deeds, wallahi, we won't even be worth what we have in our own lives. It's only the karam of Allah that we have everything in our lives. All of us, myself, right? And forgive me, I don't speak for anyone, for myself. Everything that we have in our lives, it's not because I deserve and I have the amal for it. It's the karam and the rahmah of Allah that we have everything in our lives. And if it wasn't the rahmat of Allah, we wouldn't even have everything in our lives. So it says, وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً. Oh Allah, you grant us and provide us in the ultimate way from your rahmat, from your own treasures. Innaka antal wahhab, for indeed you are the best of the one who bestows and grants and gives without anything in return that you ask for. So again, this is one of the most profound dua. Few things to remember. Number one, when we make dua, become muhtaj in front of Allah. Beg Allah for your dua. The month of Ramadan is the time of asking Allah, begging Allah, requesting Allah, seeking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number two, one of the greatest things that we can ask Allah is for hidayat. Ask Allah for husnul khatim. Ask Allah for a good ending. Ask Allah for His qurb. Ask Allah for His closeness. I'll conclude with one thing. Our ustad used to always tell us this, and forgive me, this might be a little harsh, and they used to say in Urdu, I'm going to try my best to translate that into English. And they used to say, कि हम अल्लाह से अल्लाह का गैर मांगते हैं, कभी अल्लाह को अल्लाह नहीं मांगते, अल्लाह से अल्लाह नहीं मांगते. Even when we ask Allah for things other than Allah. When was the last time you asked Allah for Allah? That, oh Allah, I want you. Allah, I want your closeness. Allah, I want your muhabba. Oh Allah, I want your closeness in my life, Ya Allah, right? So even when we ask Allah. Of course, we ask Allah for everything. Even shoelace, we ask for Allah. Allah ask Allah for everything. Don't worry about it. But just to emphasize, how much do we even ask Allah for Allah, right? That should be a part of our dua. So dua, hidayat, which is in this dua, and knowing that the treasures of Allah are ultimate. Number 4, to also know that everything that we have in our life is because of the rahmat of Allah. It's not because of you. It's because of the rahmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number 5, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps on giving us, giving us. And there is no one greater than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who provides, and He does not even want anything in return except that we become true servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah give us tawfiq. So this is the 3rd sipara, the 3rd surah, verse number 8, the dua of Allah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us. May Allah give us tawfiq to practice, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa